Acting Governor, His Excellency, Mr. Franz Manderson. Acting Deputy Governor, Ms. Gloria McFeel-Nixon. Honourable Minister, Mr. Roy McTaggart. Councillor Ms. Barbara Connolly. Councillor Mr. David White. Councillor Mr. Austin Harris. Honourable Attorney General, Mr. Samuel Bulgen. Honourable Financial Secretary, Mr. Jefferson. President of the Cayman Islands Civil Service Association, Mr. John Bothwell. Cabinet Secretary, Chief Officers, Heads of Department, HR professionals, other senior managers, nominees for this year's Deputy Governor's Award. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to each and every one of you. It's great to have you all out here this evening with us for our 2016-2017 recognizing the Employee of the Year for that period. We trust that this evening's event will definitely be most enjoyable to each and every one of you here present with us. Whilst we recognize Mr. Manderson as the acting governor, given his passion for this program, he has remained committed to participating and lending his personal support to tonight's nominees. And we thank him for his participation and his passion and his continued support for this event. We are here to celebrate the contributions of 18 former employees of the month, covering the period of July 2016 to December 2017. These persons are the finalists and nominees for the Employee of the Year Award. To get here, the finalists were nominated by their heads of department. They were selected as the person who best represented the ministry or portfolio for that month, receiving the Chief Officer's Choice Award and a cash prize of $200. They were also considered by a panel of all Chief Officers and selected to receive the Employee of the Month Award and a $500 cash prize. Tonight, we will finally identify the Employee of the Year, who will receive $1,000 as a cash prize and a platform to share their inspirational stories and to accompany the Deputy Governor at various speaking engagements. Tonight's nominees come from a diverse background, jobs, departments, etc., all over the Cayman Islands Civil Service. Tonight also marks the 5th year of the Deputy Governor's Awards. This being the first year with the setting of being here at this particular site, as it's normally been held in the past at the Governor's residence. However, we are happy to be at the National Gallery this evening for this special occasion. Tonight is meant to showcase the honorees, courtesy of the Government Information Services. We will get to hear from each of tonight's nominees in their own words during a short video presentation. We will also get to hear from the men and women who make this program possible, the managers who each month submit nominations recognizing outstanding civil servants. Ladies and gentlemen, although myself not being a veteran at this particular event, is still an honor and a privilege for me here this evening to be serving as your Master of Ceremonies. And whilst, again, not being that veteran for this event, just want to say that Ms. Gloria McFeel and others in the portfolio of the Civil Service section there have done an excellent job in preparing not only myself, but others that are walking around the grounds here this evening, participating, organizing, and playing a vital role in this evening's event. They have been prepared quite well. So I do anticipate a very smooth ride this evening as we go throughout this evening's program. In case we do have any little hiccups along the way, any turbulence, as usual, we look to that good man above to carry us through, but I trust it'll be most enjoyable. Having said that, at this time, it's now my honor to call to the podium this evening Miss Shamika Clark from the Department of Tourism. She'll be coming forward to sing for us the national song of Cayman Islands. I'm going to ask each of you, please, if you can, those that are seated, if you can, stand and remain standing as well, because immediately following the singing of the national song this evening, we'll be calling on the President of the Cayman Islands Civil Service Association to lead us in a prayer as well. At this time, Ms. Shamika Clark.
Oh, land of soft, fresh breezes, of verdant trees so fair, with thy Creator's glory reflected everywhere. O sea of palest emerald, merging to darkest blue, whene'er my thoughts fly Godward, I'll always think of you. Dear verdant island set in blue Caribbean sea, I'm coming very soon. Oh, beauteous isle, to thee. Although I've wandered far, my heart enshrines thee yet. Homeland fair, Cayman Isle, I cannot thee forget.
Thank you very much, Ms. Clark. Again, if you could just please remain standing. I call now on Mr. John Bothwell to come forward and lead us in a word of prayer and ask God's blessings on this evening's event. Mr. Bothwell.
Dear God, I ask for your blessing on this ceremony, our nominees, and all who are gathered with us today. I pray that you will fill each civil servant with satisfaction at the great work they are doing for the sake of their country. Grant us success in every good endeavor as we serve our community, our nation, and our world. Our Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight with humble hearts and with gratefulness for all you have given us, and for the opportunity to show those gifts to others through our service to our home. Father God, thank you for sustaining our ministers, our members of Parliament, our Deputy Governor, our Chief Officers, especially our nominees tonight, and our other civil servants throughout the year that has gone. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to be at this event wherein we can showcase the wisdom and skills that only come from you. We consider this opportunity as another chance to serve, but tonight, as you did while on earth, we serve by serving others, the nominees who so richly deserve our mortal accolades. Father God, we pray that this occasion is one which the nominees will take with them for years to come, and that those of us assembled will draw inspiration from the nominees for years to come as well. We in the civil service are blessed daily with opportunities to serve our fellow man and show by example the lives you want us to live. Tonight is not about ranking oneself among bests, but this is about the humble heart of people who are able to see how blessed they are despite the difficulties of service experienced along the way. Lord, we acknowledge that everything comes from you, the God who orchestrates every second of our lives so perfectly because of his great love for us. All the praises, awards, and accolades that we will give tonight are meant to be given back to you. It is because of your grace and your guidance that we as individuals and as a civil service and as the Cayman Islands have come this far. Whatever is set before us, we give all the glory back to you. Once again, we praise you and we thank you for the nominees and their year of successful service. Continue to bless each and every one of them as we celebrate them tonight, Lord Jesus. And in the days ahead, equip us as you did them with your wisdom and humility and perseverance as we do our best for you and our fellow man. Be with them and with us this hour and every hour, I pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bothwell. You may be seated at this time, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time now it's my honor to call on our acting governor, His Excellency Mr. Franz Manderson, who will be coming forward to the podium to share his remarks here this evening with us. And then saying that, I just ask you this time to please do give him a hand of applause and make him welcome as he comes forward this evening to share his remarks with us. Honorable Mr. Manderson.
Good evening, everyone. Let's try it again. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Yes, we're civil servants. We are outstanding. People hear us. I know protocol has been established, but also allow me to welcome Mr. Filbert and Mr. Nicholas and Gidget and Ms. Venice, our former employees of the year who are here with us tonight as well. They have continued to do a great job to be role models in the civil service. I want to especially thank them. So I must tell you that tonight is a really special night for me. I don't think I would want to be anywhere else tonight, surrounded by some exceptionally talented civil servants. Our senior team in the civil service, our elected leaders, the families of our civil servants who support them and is the reason why some of them are able to perform their duties at the highest standards that has brought them here today. I think this location is fabulous. I think the organizers, one of who is my daughter, has done a fantastic job putting this together. The reason we're not at Government House is because the house is being renovated for a new governor. But I think this is a fabulous place to have it. So, a few days ago, Ms. Christine Wright from the Portfolio of Civil Service, who and Ms. Tara and the big team, along with Ms. Gloria, has been doing an amazing job getting this event organized, handed me a folder with the nomination forms, the performance assessments, and all of the information on our 18 outstanding civil servants. And she said, DG, I need you to make a decision fairly quickly so that we can get all the programs going. And truthfully, I put it down to one side because I wanted to make sure that I was, when I did open the binder, that I was really focused and ready to make the decision. And I told some of our spectacular employees earlier that I think I got a few more gray hairs reading all of these nominations. But what was so special was that reading about those 18 civil servants inspired me and really was a wonderful experience for me to read about all of the amazing accomplishments of these 18 outstanding civil servants. Persons who have gone and above and beyond the call of duty and working weekends and nights and getting called out, but also persons in the uniformed services who keep us safe and risk their lives for us, persons who have had difficult jobs but managed to stay positive, like Ms. Lauren in the auditors. She's described as an energetic auditor. Sometimes that makes me nervous, but anyway. You know, so many people who could have just sat back and coasted along, but decided to be part of a solution. Persons who have seen children being vulnerable and decided to become a foster parent. Persons who customers have said they are worth their weight in gold. These are really amazing civil servants. And truthfully, I would have wanted to give every one of you the prize this evening, because it was so, like I said, inspirational for me to read all about you and what you have done. But there was a common denominator in all of the nominations. There was one thing that was present, was that every one of our winners showed care. In our mission statement, we talk about providing caring services and programs to support the elected government. Every one of our winners here this evening, and they're all winners, has shown care. Care for our customers, care for our fellow civil servants, care about supporting the elected government, caring about our beautiful and beloved Cayman Islands, that they went the extra mile. All of you, and I do mean this, I want you to feel really proud about what you have accomplished over the last year. I want to sincerely thank your families, who I know have been sacrificing, and some of you have been working long hours and on weekends and doing things above and beyond. So I want to thank the families. Thank you, co-workers. Thank you, supervisors that nominated you. I'm proud this evening. So I'm taking off my governor's hat and putting on my head of the civil service hat and say, every one of you have made me and the civil service exceptionally proud to be civil servants. Reading your forms made me proud to be a civil servant, because there's no other occupation in this island that gives employees an opportunity to make people's lives better than what we do in the civil service. We have a very unique opportunity, and every one of you has carried out that responsibility to the highest level. So ladies and gentlemen, I want you to please give our winners here a big round of applause for all that they did. And when you see the videos and hear them talk and hear what their supervisors have to say, you're going to see why I have the gray hairs, because it was absolutely a difficult decision for me to make. So before I leave the podium here, I want to make a special award. There's a ministry in government that every month, and I do mean every month, has put forward a nomination for the Employee of the Month. And that is really special. And it's a standard that other ministries and portfolios need to aspire to. But before I call them up, I want to make a mention of one thing. So the employee of the year for last year was Mr. Filbert. And I tried to take Mr. Filbert out to lunch a couple of occasions, and he was so busy that I couldn't get into his schedule. So Mr. Filbert, I'm the deputy governor. You should make a bit of a time for me. So finally, I went to his head of department, who instructed him to come to lunch with me, and we went to lunch. And it was amazing. But Mr. Filbert said, sir, I have a matter I want to bring to your attention. And I said, what's that, Mr. Filbert? He said, at the awards ceremony, I really enjoyed it, but sir, I felt funny in that while we were all winners on the stage, there was only me that got an award. So I think, sir, that you should change it and you need to give everybody an award. But that just shows the kind of individual Mr. Filbert is. That here I am taking him to lunch to thank him for his services, and he is thinking about his fellow civil servants. Let's give Mr. Filbert a round of applause. So Mr. Filbert, thank you for that great innovation and that idea. And you can see over here, we have done an amazing job in the portfolio of the civil service. We've come up with some spectacular awards so that everyone tonight leaves with an award. Which, again, thank you very much, Mr. Filbert. So without further ado, I'm going to ask Ms. Chief Officer Wesley Howell and the Chief HR Officer, Ms. Brianna E. Banks, to come up from the Ministry of Human Resources and Immigration for being the only ministry in government to making sure that they had an awardee every month of the year. Thank you again, Mr. Howell and Ms. Banks. And I'll pause here now and turn it back over to our Master of Ceremonies, and enjoy the rest of your evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you very much there, Mr. Manison, for those kind remarks. In fact, as you stated as well, as you read some of the information on our nominees this evening, it was quite inspiring. I just want to say likewise for your remarks here this evening. I'm quite certain everyone in the audience will agree that his remarks this evening was very inspiring to each and every one of us that are here present to this event this evening, in particular the civil servants. You agree with me there, ladies and gentlemen? Let's give Mr. Manison another big hand of applause this evening. We just want to thank him for his continued support and dedication to the civil service, and also his support for each and every one of us. Also want to congratulate the Ministry of Human Resources and Immigration for consistently nominating employees to be recognized for their hard work and contribution as well. Just before I move on to the next item I see here on the program, and that being a video message from Mr. Filbert, just hearing how eager he was to share recognition with others as well, how he felt when he received that award, just reminds me of a joke that I heard recently from a pastor. So I'll just share that with you just for a few seconds. There was this lady that was cooking breakfast one morning for her two kids, two very, very young boys, one 5 and one 3. So their mom was preparing breakfast for them. The 5-year-old was named Ryan, and the 3-year-old was his name was Kevin, and they were waiting on their mom to make breakfast. First up was some pancakes. So, you know, boys, as usual, they're gonna make trouble. They started to argue and even started to get a little physical there as far as who's gonna get the first pancake. But the mom intervened and just said, come on, boys, settle down. You gotta do better than that. Said, you know, if Jesus was here, he would be very kind and he would share the first pancake with you. So Ryan looked over at Kevin and said, Kevin, you can beat Jesus. But again, thank you very much there, Mr. McFarlane, as well, for, again, your thought, your kindness towards your fellow civil servants. And we also want to thank the Deputy Governor as well for heeding your request there, or your suggestion. And this evening, the evidence is right here present, and our nominees will all be awarded. Having said that, at this time, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a video message from our 2015-2016 winner, Mr. Philbert McFarlane.
I am Philbert McFarlane, a land register officer with the Land and Survey Department. I was recognized as the Cayman Highlands Employee of the Year for 2015-2016. This was humbling for me. I was honored to have received the highest award. As a result of being recognized with the title, it fondly has made me become even stronger as ambassador for the Cayman Highlands government and the country and the world. I wish all 18 recipients the best of luck and encourage you all to continue your positive role as we strive for excellence.
Thank you very much, Mr. McFarlane, for your parting words of advice and your stellar example as the Civil Servant of the Year. And at this time, I would like to invite you to just stand where you are to be recognized along with other past Civil Servants of the Year, namely Mr. Nicholas McLean, Miss Venice Tatum, and Miss Gidget Powell. Again, if you all could please stand at this time, Mr. Philbert McFarlane, the 15-16, Mr. Nicholas McLean, 2012-2013, Miss Venice Tatum, 2013-2014, and Miss Gidget Powell from 2014-2015. We thank you all so much, and again, we just offer congratulations and thank you for your continued support and dedication to the civil service of these islands. Thank you very much. You may be seated. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be having our video clips, followed by some short remarks by the HODs of our nominees here this evening, the 18 nominees. And in doing that this evening, we're going to get started right off by calling first, starting back from July 2016 and working our way up to December 2017. First, I want to invite the managers for each of the nominees as we are going to call the nominees' name. If the managers are here present with us, if you could please make your way to the podium, that you can be ready to share your brief remarks with us immediately following the video clip. First, for July 2016, we had Miss Cheyenne Palmer, most helpful. She's a credit and debt administrator in our Treasury Department. Unfortunately, she's unable to be here with us this evening, but we do have a short video clip from her. And immediately following the video clip, we're going to ask the Deputy Accountant General, Ms. Gloria Miles, to share some remarks with us on behalf of Ms. Cheyenne Palmer. So, Ms. Miles, if you could make your way to the podium at this time, please. We'd appreciate it very much. And once Ms. Miles is here by the podium, then we're going to ask the technicians in the back to hit the clip there and share with us some comments from Miss Cheyenne Palmer. Most helpful. And she was our nominee from July 2016.
My name is Cheyenne Palmer. I am a credit and debt administrator in the Treasury Department Debt Recovery Unit. I administer and manage loans issued by the government to private as well as employees. Overseas medical, civil service association loans, personal loans, and resettlement loans. We have to be special here because we deal with overseas medical patients. That's the big thing that we do here. So we have to be ready for them. We have to be compassionate. We have to, know how to deal with everybody with their case because, they be looking forward to us with so much help. And we provide that here. Excellent to me is going beyond because you can come in and we have policies, but then somebody might need like something extra, extra help, like to make an appointment or to book a hotel or something overseas, and we provide that. We don't have to because it's not for us to do, but we do it. I think that's excellent customer service.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, Ms. Gloria Miles.
Good evening, everyone. Protocol having been established, I just want to welcome each of you and thank you for your contribution and courage in taking this journey along with the DG in building a world-class civil service. There is no one quite fitting for the Employee of the Year award than our Cheyenne, or Shy, as she's affectionately called by colleagues and friends. She's an advocate for fairness, expediency. She's the most persistent, most helpful, forthcoming, and articulate civil servant. She is resolute in all that she does and the most compassionate. She is one who exudes passion and the will and desire to assist our most vulnerable in their time of need. We are so very proud and honored of all her achievements, commitment, and dedication to her work and the people of the Cayman Islands. She has stood tall and firm in the face of challenges and used them as opportunities and tools to better understand the needs of those she serves. Time is not something she views as an obstacle in the face of adversity. This became very clear one afternoon when a customer required urgent assistance after their office had closed. Cheyenne seamlessly advised, guided the process without complaint via a three-way call from her home to resolve this very urgent matter. This goes beyond the call of duty and is a testament to her dedication, commitment, and character. Customers who know her describe her as professional and compassionate. Shy is at her best when she is serving others. She is the bridge that underpins the values of the Treasury. She is a leader in her own right, an example, a mentor to her colleagues. She is a world-class civil servant. She is the face of the Debt Recovery Unit and a ranger of all things social in the Treasury. Shy is the pinnacle of what I would reimagine the face of the civil service would look like. Impartial, professional, unwavering, driven, and motivated. I will end by echoing Shy's advice to civil servants. Don't enter the civil service just because you want a job, but because you want to provide exceptional service to your community, connect with people on a human level, provide assistance and guidance to persons when they are most vulnerable. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Miles. And again, congratulations to our nominee there this evening, Ms. Cheyenne Palmer for July 2016. Give her a hand of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, she's unable to be present with us this evening. Our next nominee is also unable to be with us this evening, and neither do we have a video clip from her either, but we do have here for Ms. Sarah Dixon, who is our nominee for August 2016. Is most concerned. She's a clerical officer in the Department of Vehicle and Driver's Licensing. So we offer congratulations to her. And at this time, we're going to be calling on the Deputy Director of the Department of Vehicle and Driver's Licensing, Mr. Jason Azan, to come forward and to share some brief remarks on behalf of Ms. Sarah Dixon. Mr. Azan.
Good evening, everyone. It is certainly a pleasure for me to stand before you and give a brief speech about one of our celebrated civil servants this evening. It is with good reason that this civil servant was awarded the Employee of the Month for August 2016, for she has shown commitment to delivering on the promise of exceptional customer service, not just to our external customers, but our internal customers as well. Since joining the department in April 2012, not only has she proven that she is a right fit, but also that she offers flexibility, a degree of flexibility that facilitates business continuity, which is a good thing in the business that we are in. On more than one occasion, we have relied upon our Employee of the Month to help us meet the needs of those we serve, whether it's by working the front line as a licensed officer or at the customer service counter. But it doesn't stop there. Since joining DVDL, there has also been a secondment to the Ministry and the Facilities Management Unit, where her winning personality was observed as well. A willingness to help without question or fear of not knowing what to do, just point in the direction on where to begin, dive right in. That's this civil servant's approach. It is with a healthy dose of pride that I speak of this nominee tonight, Ms. Sarah Dixon. Unfortunately, as said, Sarah could not be here tonight. As some of you may know, Sarah recently gave birth to her second child. I told her I would tell you all the weight at 8 pounds 14 ounces, which I think alone deserves accolades and admiration. The timing of it all did not allow for a video to be produced, but Sarah nevertheless is humbled by this award that she did receive, and she sends her apologies for not being able to attend. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Azan, and again, congratulations there to Ms. Dixon, again, our nominee for August 2016. Moving on to nominee for September 2016, we have Ms. Aubrey Bodden, most professional. She's a policy analyst in our policy coordination unit, and we do have a video clip this evening from Ms. Bodden, but we also do have in our midst our cabinet secretary, Mr. Samuel Rose, and I'm going to ask him if he could please do make his way forward at this time to be ready at the podium to share some brief remarks about Ms. Aubrey Bodden, who once the video clip has been or is completed. So at this time, just bear with us just a few more moments as Mr. Rose comes forward, and then we'll just have our technician share our video clip from Ms. Aubrey Bodden, our nominee for September 2016.
When I was awarded in September of 2016, I was a policy analyst in the Cabinet Office, and one of the projects that I was working on related to building a new internal communication and engagement function for the Cayman Islands government. It was something that related to a lot of my background of building capacity to start something new that was important, that was going to transform across the entire civil service. And one of the things that I learned on this project is that internal communication isn't just about giving people information. It's about asking what they need. It's about involving staff in developing solutions. It's about engaging our employees so we can deliver on departmental objectives and ultimately on the government's broad outcomes so that we can make a difference in the lives of the people that we serve. And internal communication is not just about giving people the information to do that, but also about giving them the tools and the resources. And a lot of times in government, we have these amazing resources that people, our colleagues that know so much, that can share so much. And what I really wanted to do was unleash that. So we organized Development Month in August of 2016, and we had dozens of colleagues across the civil service come out and do short lunch and learns based on their areas of work, their personal interests that were really meaningful and that could help to build their colleagues' skills. Our 5-year strategic plan was launched in January of 2018, and my role in relation to that plan is kind of twofold. So I'm involved in delivering some of the strategic initiatives, but also in communicating the plan itself. And this is something that's been really exciting, working with our leaders across the civil service to engage staff in this vision of becoming a world-class civil service. And what does that mean? And how do we apply it in our local context? How can we work toward it every single day to make our best business as usual? And we're not going to be able to do that by just having a few people in the center involved in that. Every single civil servant needs to understand this, needs to engage with it, needs to feel it and live it. And that's something that I'm really excited about being a part of over the next 5 years.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there you had your nominee for September 2016, Ms. Aubrey Bodden. At this time, now, please make welcome the Cabinet Secretary, Mr. Samuel Rose, to share his brief remarks about Ms. Bodden. Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Tibbetts. Good evening, everyone. It is indeed a pleasure to say a few words about a truly phenomenal woman, Ms. Aubrey Bodden. Those who have the privilege of knowing her will agree that it is virtually impossible to capture the essence of Aubrey in the 1.5 minutes that I've been allotted. So forgive me if I go rather quickly to squeeze in as much as I can regarding this remarkable civil servant. Let me just start out by saying that when thinking about Aubrey, so many descriptions come to mind. She was recognized for being most professional. Well, what does that mean? I believe I can safely say that the vast majority of public servants who know her reasonably well can attest to her exemplary professionalism. In this regard, her passion for the professional development of public servants, evidenced by the overwhelming positive feedback received after she coordinated our very first ever Development Month in August 2016. She has the unusual ability to truly understand the big picture while being detail-oriented. In her own way, she is a champion influencer of good governance. She appears to have boundless energy, accomplishing tasks that support others, often in the tradition of the Cabinet Office using very unsociable hours. Her initiative is off the charts, and folks, this is no exaggeration. She would regularly be the first to volunteer to do something that hasn't been done before and do it very well. Her other notable qualities include, some of her other notable qualities include high integrity, exceptional efficiency, brilliant analytical thinking, and a passion for effective service. Folks, you may say, how can one person exemplify all these notable qualities? Well, I'm still scratching my head on that one. Maybe she is from a different planet after all. Before concluding, this is directed to any ministry or portfolio keeping a close eye on Aubrey. I have but one request. Please do not steal her from the Cabinet Office. At least not yet. We fought very hard to bring her back. In all seriousness, wherever she is or will be, she is such an incredible asset to our country, and we are exceedingly proud of her. In the words of William Shakespeare, and though she be but little, she is fierce. Aubrey, it is a profound honor to work with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Mr. Rose, with his remarks this evening on behalf of our nominee, Miss Aubrey Bowden, for September 2016, again being nominated for being most professional. Next, we move on to her nominee for October 2016, and that individual being none other than Mr. Ernie Pearson, who was nominated for being most vested. He's our Needs Assessment Officer in the Needs Assessment Unit under the Ministry of Community Affairs. We also have a video clip from Mr. Pearson here this evening, but I'm also first going to ask the Needs Assessment Unit Deputy Director, Mr. Matthew Hilton, to make his way to the podium at this time. And once he's here, then we'll be viewing the short video clip from Mr. Ernie Pearson, our nominee for October 2016.
Most vested means to me is being able to engage the clients, making sure that their needs are being met. When I started here, I had no idea of really what the social aspect of our islands were, because I didn't realize the level of the needs of people. So I always look at myself and say, it could be me. And I see that it's our people, it's family, friends, our Cayman people. To improve the lives of those we serve, we have engaged in policy changes, adjustments to be able to provide services in a more efficient manner. We've changed a lot of the way we do things. We've actually hired more staff recently, so we have more people now to assist in the processes, because it is a task that is it can be daunting because of the level of the volume, the sheer volume of the numbers of what we have to do. So we've gotten some new staff members. I have got one on my team. I now have 4. So, and with those now we will be up and running, doing a lot more than we usually would. How we keep ourselves healthy in our team. I must say the management here does a great job. They provide they give us the ability to do flex time. They have numerous retreats for staff. So those are things that engages us, that we can sort of disengage for a while, refresh yourself. When I won the Employee of the Month award and the DJ's award as well, I was overwhelmed. I had no clue, because for me, I'm just doing my job. It wasn't any big deal. I just come in, I work. So it really blew me away. I was emotional.
All right, there you had Mr. Ernie Pearson, ladies and gentlemen. And now to share some brief remarks on behalf of Mr. Pearson, we have the Needs Assessment Unit Deputy Director, Mr. Matthew Hilton.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I feel like I'm the one that's being rewarded tonight, because we have 2 officers who are being considered for tonight's award. That makes me feel very proud inside and very, very proud of them. So congratulations to everyone, but especially to the 2 Needs Assessment officers here tonight. Whenever I think of Mr. Ernie, the image that comes to mind is that of an unwavering rock. Ernie joined the Needs Assessment Unit in April 2015. It did not take very long to notice his solid work ethic and commitment, not to the job, but to the people that the NAU serves. He has previously commented to me in a conversation that he can see how his work directly impacts and makes a difference in the community. This is what he enjoys about his job, and this is why he puts forth so much effort. Within his first year of employment, Mr. Ernie was appointed to acting supervisor and was officially appointed to the post in November 2016. NAU employees are infamous for working tirelessly long hours late into the night and well into the weekend. I sometimes wonder if they are in a secret competition that management is not aware of. Mr. Ernie does have some stiff competitions from his co-workers, but I think he pulls out as a leader of the pack when it comes to working long hours and working weekends on a continuous basis. There are many times that late night emergencies and weekend emergencies has arose that we were able to deal with very quickly because Mr. Ernie was already in the office dealing with other matters. He is the most centered and calmest individual you will ever meet. Regardless of what happened in his professional and personal life, he somehow manages to keep his focus on what is most important and is not swayed by the storms that surround him. During times of high tension and stress within the office, his silent and authoritative demeanor has a way of bringing things into perspective and helps to ground other staff members. This has proven to be a very defining and essential characteristics for the leadership role he holds within the Needs Assessment Unit. He commands the respect and admiration of all his co-workers, in particular, the ones that report directly to him. I recall when we announced that one of our staff members had received the DG award, everyone unanimously shouted, "Mr. Ernie." There was no doubt in their minds that this was a well-deserved recognition. He is fair, impartial, understanding, and supportive when executing his roles and duties. Mr. E is amazingly insightful and wise. He analyzes all situations, weighs all outcomes before making a final decision, ensuring that his actions and those of the department are truly representative of the code of conduct and values of the Cayman Islands Civil Service. Despite all these amazing attributes, Mr. Ernie remains humble in everything he does. Funny enough, I had not seen the video before tonight, and this was written before seeing the video, and he would be the first to say, "Award for what? I was just doing my job." So it shows I know you well, Mr. E. He is truly demonstrative of someone voted as the most vested. So thank you, Mr. E, for your service.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Hilton. Again, his remarks there on behalf of our nominee for October 2016, Mr. Ernie Pearson. Moving on to our next nominee, this one being for the month of November 2016, Ephraim Holgate was selected for being most constructive, a prison officer of Her Majesty's Prison Service, from the Ministry of Financial Services and Home Affairs. This time we're going to ask the Prison Director, Mr. Stephen Barrett, to please come forward to the podium. And once he's made his way here to the podium, we're going to ask for the short video clip that we have this evening on behalf of Mr. Holgate.
I am Officer Ephraim Holgate. I am currently working at HMP Northwood, Her Majesty's Cayman Islands Prison Service. I have been employed here for this year now 13 years fully. I work as a line officer. Also, I've been second to the maintenance department, which I've been doing so now for the last two years and change. One of the main projects, or can I say one of the more visible ones that can be seen by everyone, that the public, is done by Her Majesty's Prison Fairbanks, where the outside had needed some improvement. In the mentoring process with inmates, it's a process where sometimes the individuals already have a skill set, some don't, right? So you have individuals that are part of the party, the maintenance party, the internal maintenance party, and they have their skill set. You have some that don't, but they are willing to work and learn. So with the skills and trade that I know, I would teach, I will show, instruct, do some of it, so they can say, okay, this is how you would do, because in maintenance, in the pier, it's not new. Maintenance is harder than doing new. So you have to come up with innovative ideas, ways. How are you going to do this? So helping them to think, okay, you see this broken here, how would you fix this the safest and the cheapest way, to get a good end product. Putting myself out there to train them, again, I say we are dealing with people. And if you don't appreciate that, then you can't really do anything else. My idea what a world-class prison service would look like, it would be one where we as facilitators will be able to furnish our clients, with a safe working environment, a safe living environment, and be able to leave our facility with a much broader depth and appreciation for reintegrators into society where they can live meaningful lives and not get on the wheel, and constantly withdraw.
All right, there you have it from Mr. Ephraim Holgate being nominated for being most constructive. At this time, though, ladies and gentlemen, the prison director, Mr. Stephen Barrett.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I strongly suspect that the words I'm about to speak will go nowhere close enough to doing justice to an employee who I'm advised has, over every single day that he has worked in the prison service, done nothing other than to strive to be the best that he can be. So with that, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Ephraim Holgate, an individual who demonstrates a consistent level of excellence in his work and who is compelled from within to providing a humane and decent environment, not only for those who are sent into our care by the courts, but for those of us who work within the prisons and who provide such a critically important service for the citizens of the Cayman Islands. A brief summary of some of the environmental change projects that he has driven includes the building of a pantry to ensure that the storage of food within the prison and its supplies was improved. He has produced covered walkways within the prison, linking various parts of the facility together in order to prevent exposure at times of inclement weather, but also, more commonly, to protect us from the heat of the sun. He has built an extension to the Immigration Detention Centre to ensure our compliance with requirements to keep detainees separate from our domestic prison population. And he has also completely renovated a disused area of the prison, which he converted into a staff lounge and meeting area. But most incredible for me, and most impactful for me, was what I saw he had done at Fairbanks, the facility for our female population. He has created a covered entrance that has done significant improvements to the facade of what is a fairly run-down facility, and it now looks welcoming. Although not to everyone inside there. And he has built an impressive and practical shared living association area within that same facility. And it's startling to think that one man has applied his creative ingenuity to do all of this work with minimal expense to the government, and most of it has been achieved using materials that have been recycled from other projects, and also, as you've heard in his video, to utilise the talent, assets and skills of the prisoners that he works with and with whom he leads. Mr. Holgate cares passionately about his work and also about his obligations to ensuring that those prisoners that he works with are supported once they leave prison and rejoin our communities. He goes out of his way to maintain contact with them after they're released from custody. And such is the impact of his contribution and his work ethic that the award in November 2016 that he won for Employee of the Month, he received nominations for that award by 6 different staff. Now, staff who work in prisons often feel that they are a forgotten service. However, in my view, there is no more important a public figure than one entrusted with the care and rehabilitation of those most challenging, vulnerable, difficult and troubled individuals from our society. And Mr. Holgate, for me, embodies the attributes and values of the ideal prison officer: versatility, decency, integrity, compassion, and, as I've already said, a desire to be the best that he can be at all times. As his new Director of Prisons, I absolutely, without hesitation, commend his work, and I extend my warmest thanks and appreciation for the service that he provides, not just to the prison, not just to the civil service, but to the citizens of the Cayman Islands. Ephraim, thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much there, Mr. Barrett, there sharing his remarks on behalf of Mr. Ephraim Holgate, our most constructive and being our nominee for November 2016. Finally, for 2016, we have our December nominee there for being most helpful and festive, that being Miss Donna Ebanks, Customer Service Officer, Facilities Management Department. We have a video clip from Miss Ebanks, but as you see coming forward here, we have Mr. Troy Worms, the Director of Facilities Management, who will be sharing some remarks about Miss Ebanks once the clip is completed.
My name is Donna Ebanks, and I'm a licensing officer with the Department of Vehicle and Driver's License. I wanted this year at the government admin building to be something special. I know years gone by, they did have schools come in and do the Christmas caroling and stuff. Me as a person, when I go to do something, I like to do it to my best ability, and I like to go all out. So with the resources that I was given by the Facility Management Department, I was able to accomplish, I think I had 13 schools where usually, I think it was something like 1 or 2 that would come on a yearly basis. I think the school that stood out the most for me when it came with the caroling was the Lighthouse School. Seeing the kids that were considered with disabilities and the joy that they had on their face, performing to their best ability, and the joy and the festivity that it brought to the building and the employees there was amazing. I think I cried for every group because it was just really touching. But again, with the Lighthouse School, they were amazing. They were amazing. One of the things that I believe will make a day go well is a good beginning. And I think for me, a good beginning is a nice cup of coffee. So to make sure that, everybody had, whether it was coffee or tea or hot chocolate, whatever their need was to get their day started in the right way, I felt was something that I could do to help their day be a better day. To be recognized, it is an honor. Now I know that I'm being seen, and it is just a great morale boost, and it's something that everybody deserves to know that they're doing a good job. A good experience in my department is what I strive for our customers, and I try to do that every day.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you had Ms. Donna Ebanks, our nominee for December 2016. Here to share some remarks now on her behalf, Mr. Troy Worms.
Good evening, everyone. To be specific, the coffee she's talking about is actually Costa Rican coffee. We know it vividly in the department. It's something that we miss. And I'm not allowed to drink coffee, but I sneak it here and there. The day Donna received the Deputy Governor's Award in December 2016 was bittersweet for the Facilities Management Department. At this moment, it was the last time she was with us when she was seconded, but it was the first time she had been recognized for her contributions to the civil service at this level. During Donna's time in FM, she thought of others and went the extra mile to brighten someone's day, which positively affected our department. Donna was essential to bringing joy to the halls of the Government Administration Building during December of 2016. Her traditional Caymanian decorations and orchestration of earth-warming and jubilant music brought the holiday joy to all who entered GAP, as well as the 300 students which participated in the Christmas festivities. Her commitment positively reflected each ministry in the civil service by creating an opportunity for civil servants to interact with our youth while they showcase their talents. Her perseverance in delivering this quality event was nothing short of amazing. Thank you, DVDL, for supporting this secondment opportunity. And just to note, this is actually the second seconded person that is being represented by DVDL in the Deputy Governor's Award tonight. So that being said, if you have a need, we can fill it. Donna, thank you for your contribution to the Facilities Management Department and for being the most helpful and festive Deputy Governor's Award recipient.
All right, thank you very much there, Mr. Worms, here in his remarks about our final nominee for 2016, that being Miss Donna Ebanks, being nominated for Most Helpful and Festive. Moving on to January 2017, we have Miss Leonora Winter Young, nominated for being Most Committed Social Work Manager from the Department of Children and Family Services under the Ministry for Community Affairs, Youth and Sports at that time. At this time, I'm going to ask our Director of the Department of Children and Family Services, Ms. Felicia Robinson, if she could make her way to the podium. And immediately after she's arrived here, we're going to have a short video clip from Ms. Leonora Winter Young, our nominee for January 2017.
It's all about working with people. It is what I studied at the University of the West Indies, and I have been engaged as a social worker for maybe too many years that I want to say. It's 25 years here, and I actually work as a probation officer in Jamaica for almost 14 years. So it's a lifetime. So how can I not be passionate about something that I've been doing for almost 40 years? There's no typical day. You cannot really plan too much for a day when you work in this department. I could have my plans and I arrive in the parking lot, run into a client, and that changes my day. Well, I should hope that in my 25 years here that I have positively impacted some lives. It's not easy being a social worker and intervening in person's life. Sometimes they don't want you to be a part of their life, and there's the resistance, which I have faced on many occasions. But it's a job, and I have to do it to the best of my ability. So there are clients who were not easy to engage at the beginning, and I must say that over time, I think I have been able to win them over, so to speak, and to be able to work with them, work with their children, work with their family system, and hopefully it has resulted in positive impacts. In 5 years, I expect a world-class Department of Children and Family Services to have dedicated and committed workers in all respects. I'm not just thinking about social workers, but our executive officers, our accounts officers, who will give service to the customers that far exceeds their expectations.
All right, there you heard it from Miss Leonora Winter Young, being nominated for January 2017 for being most committed. At this time now, ladies and gentlemen, our Director from the Department of Children and Family Services is Felicia Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. Tibbetts. Good evening, everyone. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you Miss Leonora Winter Young, who is one of our senior managers, and to say how proud we are of her and the honor that she has been awarded. Miss Leonora, we call her that. She is described by most of our staff as the backbone of the Department of Children and Family Services. She has a strength beyond imagination. She is full of knowledge. She is dedicated. She's extremely helpful. She's a nurturer, particularly to our young staff members who are new within the profession as they join us. And she is not only a long service employee, but she's also a long sufferer. We experience many challenges with our clients, and Ms. Lenora is always there saying these 4 words that I want to close with. She always says, I will do it. Thank you very much, Ms. Leonora.
Thank you very much as well, Ms. Robinson. Those kind words on behalf of Ms. Leonora Winter Young, our nominee for January 2017. Our next nominee, unfortunately, is unable to also be here with us this evening. However, Ms. Tamara Reed Vernon, nominated for February 2017, as being most committed. Her position being the Acting Deputy Chief Immigration Officer for Border Control and Intelligence in the Department of Immigration under the Ministry of Human Resource and Immigration. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to ask Ms. Samantha Bennett, our Deputy Chief Immigration Officer, to come forward here by the podium. She'll be sharing some brief remarks after we have our video clip for Ms. Tamara Reed Vernon, our nominee for February 2017.
I am Tamara Reed Vernon. I am the Acting Deputy Chief Immigration Officer responsible for border control. What that role entails is the strategic management of our borders, starting with our Owen Roberts International Airport, our General Aviation Terminal, our Visa Office, the Seaport, and our Extension Counter. Being committed to border control improves the lives of those that we serve by ensuring the prosperity and security of these islands. We do this by ensuring that genuine passengers are processed in an efficient way so that our tourism industry can flourish, our financial industry can see the successes that it also has an interest in, and by ensuring that those persons who might not have the best interests are kept out of our borders. Being the most committed, for me, really at the core means being able to give back to our staff in a way that creates more value. And what that means for me is giving them empowerment to be able to reach their full potential. And I say this with the recognition that the staff members that we have now are going to be the leaders of this department tomorrow. Somewhere in our within our staff pool is the next CIO, possibly the next Deputy Chief Immigration Officer, possibly for Border Control. So we need to take steps now to develop those people, recognize that there are areas of potential that we can invest in.
All right, here we have Ms. Tamara Reed Vernon, and now we have Ms. Samantha Bennett, the Deputy Chief Immigration Officer, to share remarks on her behalf.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, colleagues, friends, families, and most of all the nominees. I'm proud to talk about Ms. Tamara Reed Vernon, who is the Employee of the Month for February 2017 for Most Committed. Tamara joined the department in March 2006 as an office assistant. Within 7 months, she was promoted to an immigration officer. She continued to excel by achieving the rank of Assistant Chief Immigration Officer for Visas in March 2010. In August 2016, she transitioned into a role of Assistant Chief Immigration Officer for Border Control and Intelligence. Mrs. Reed Vernon currently holds the title of Acting Deputy Chief Immigration Officer for Border Control and Intelligence. Mrs. Reed Vernon has shown dedication to duty and care and her commitment to excellence in service. She has boosted staff morale with programs for key frontline officers that introduce them to the responsibilities of senior management and has introduced non-monetary incentives for staff. In collaboration with the Governor's office and the Ministry of Home Affairs, Ms. Reed Vernon represented the department at recent initiatives aimed at strengthening the relationship and partnership with the Customs Department, as well as the relevant partners in the United States and the United Kingdom. Mrs. Reed Vernon has quietly played an integral role at the strategic and operational levels of border security. Her work ethic, dependability, and commitment to enhancing the Department of Immigration is exemplary, and we thank her for her service.
Thank you very much. Ms. Bennett there speaking on behalf of Ms. Tamara Reed Vernon, our nominee for February 2017 for being most committed. Next up for March 2017, Ms. Tristica Ebanks, nominated for being most customer conscious. She's a personal assistant in the Ministry of Human Resource and Immigration. As you see, we have our chief officer in that ministry, Mr. Wesley Howell, coming forward. He'll be sharing his remarks about Ms. Tristica Ebanks once we have her video clip.
My work ethics have been influenced by a lot of people, whether it's family or friends or colleagues. I've had a lot of people come into my life, and from each of them I've been able to learn something and obviously take that away and help create what you see. And that has helped me to be the person that I am. Besides that, I have that self-drive where I know that I have to go out and I have to always put my best forward. And doing that, hopefully that becomes an example for people around me. I have siblings and a daughter now, so I want to make sure that whatever it is that I'm putting out, that it's obviously something that they're going to appreciate and hopefully take with them as well. So we all know that in government we're trying to aim to become better at everything. And one way that I thought that I could contribute would be to obviously better the relationships that were existing between our ministries, our departments, and also creating new ones and setting the foundation for those. And with that process, it was really all about communication. Communication is the key to most, if not everything. And we just needed to start talking a little bit more to each other and being on the same page and figuring out how we can make it better. So getting people more involved by not lengthening the process but shortening it was one way that I thought that would make things a whole lot smoother for not only myself but my colleagues and the people around us. So being a civil servant for me is important. Not only do I get to give back to my country, but also I get to have a say into what happens. Even if it's a very small voice, at least I can say I did have some sort of footprint in there. But also being a civil servant is humbling, and it's also self-rewarding because you get to have a lot of opportunities. There's so many throughout the different departments or ministries or authorities that if you come into the civil service and you're not quite sure what you want to do, there's opportunity there for self-growth and self-development that you can find your place. So with the civil service, that's pretty much one opportunity that has been given to me, is that I'm finding my place. And I'm loving it, and I'm certainly not having to change it at all.
All right, there you heard it from Miss Tristica Ebanks, and now we have her Chief Officer, Mr. Wesley Howell, who will tell you a little bit more about Miss Ebanks.
Thank you, sir. Good night. I'm not sure I can top what she just said. Tristica deserves the award, if for nothing else, for the year, for the 18-month span. She was PA to not one, but 4 chief officers. She started with Eric Bush, who went on to represent us in the UK. I took over, then I went off to the elections. Catherine Dinswell Powell came in as acting, then replaced by Michael Nixon in acting, and then I came back to finish off the year. So for keeping us all level and all focused on the goal, I think she deserves it just for that. It's deceptive to see someone actually having fun every day, dealing with what are some of the most difficult topics and some of the most challenging areas. At the time that Tristica was nominated, our ministry was about 1,100 people, so about a quarter of the civil service was in one ministry, with 16 people in the ministry, so we were doing things that were above our batting average, and everybody was sort of pitching in and getting things done. So the customer service part is great, but the one thing that I can't remember Tristica ever saying was no, and that she couldn't. So as a mom, in a challenging ministry with lots of issues going on across ministries, up to cabinet, down to departments, she also managed to further her education. And not just do it, but do it really well. So she's on the Dean's list as well. So congratulations go all around. I can't say enough about her drive, but what I can say is that spirit of teamwork and happy about doing work and happy about representing the country. The people that come up to me and say, thank you for helping me, and I go, you're welcome, but I didn't actually help you. Only to come find out that Tristica, who is a PA, has gone and found some innovative way to solve somebody's issue without even making a fuss about it. So you don't even know what she's doing, she's getting it done, and getting it done well. So she lived up to our motto of making Cayman better by making the lives of everybody we touched better. Thank you, Tristica.
All right, thank you very much there, Mr. Howell. You heard it for our nominee for March 2017, Miss Tristica Ebanks, nominated for being most customer conscious. April 2017, our nominee, Miss Kimberly Herrera, nominated for most customer centric. She's an accounts officer in the portfolio of the civil service. And now I'm going to call the deputy chief officer from the portfolio of the civil service forward, Miss Dolores Gordon. And as she makes her way on the platform here, we're going to have our video clip from Miss Kimberly Herrera.
Customer-centric means to me is just being able to give customers, whether internal or external, the best possible customer service experience. Just having an overall great, cheerful attitude, no matter what comes your way, and trying your best to be able to give that person the best experience that they could possibly get from you. Following up is just something that I learned from my mom. And the type of work that she does, and I learned it over the years. Following up basically just let people know that you care, to know that their matter has been resolved, and that it matters to you that you follow through it. What it meant to me to get Employee of the Month was just to be recognized. I mean, my career in the government spans almost 15 years, and there are a lot more people like me out there, so to just be recognized was the biggest part of it for me. Well, there are many people that have contributed to me reaching this far in my government career. People like Miss Ann Owens, Miss Dolores Gordon, Nika Webster, and more recently my newer team members like Nadisha Walters and Krista Seymour Mohammed. So there's been a few people that have helped me along this journey. A typical day in Kimberly's account officer one world would just be, to be honest, it's very demanding. We have a lot of tight deadlines. We have a lot of departments that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, sometimes dealing with 10, 15 different people on a day. But every day brings new challenges, and I look forward to meeting those challenges and tackling them on head on. No day is ever the same. Sometimes it's just a matter of just taking a moment for myself to just breathe and remember that
You're not going to get it all in one day. There's never enough hours in a day to do the amount of work that we have to do, but we still push through and make the best of it.
All right, there you have Miss Kimberly Herrera. And now we have her Deputy Chief Officer, Miss Dolores Gordon, to tell us more about Kimberly. Miss Gordon.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As a member of the finance team, Kimberly's HOD is really the CFO, Nadisha Walters. However, Miss Nadisha is off getting some much needed rest after a very demanding end of year schedule to get the portfolio's annual accounts completed. So I have the pleasure of presenting Kimberly Powell Herrera. Kimberly Powell Herrera was the Cayman Islands government's Employee of the Month for April 2017 for being most customer-centric. Ms. Powell Herrera, an Accounts Officer 1, which you've heard already, in the portfolio of the Civil Service, started her career with the Cayman Islands government in 2004 as an executive officer within the Internal Audit Unit. Through hard work and commitment, Kimberly was promoted to Accounts Officer 1 and transferred to the portfolio of the Civil Service. Kimberly continued to work on her professional development and is currently working diligently towards the completion of her associate's degree in public administration. She balances a very demanding personal and professional obligations while excelling at her job and maintaining a positive customer outlook. Kimberly has an extraordinary ability to jump right in and get the job done, whatever the task may be. She balances, that along with her ability to perform consistently at a high level whilst anticipating the needs of customers is what got her nominated for the Employee of the Month. Comments from her Chief Officer, Ms. Gloria Macfield Nixon, as part of her nomination states, not only does Kimberly come up with creative solutions, but she also takes such delight in satisfying internal and external client needs. She's dependable, hardworking, has a keen eye for detail, and provides excellent customer service. She has a natural propensity to lead, has proven to be the go-to person within our team, and is an essential member of the portfolio of the Civil Service. During the planning and coordination of the 2017 Deputy Governor's 5K Challenge, Kimberly earned high praises from the Honorable Deputy Governor, Franz Manderson, for bringing the wow factor and for helping to pave the way for a world-class civil service. Kimberly is known to go the extra mile to assist both external and internal customers, and no assignment is too big or too small for her to tackle. Kimberly, it is obvious that you make a point to exceed customer expectations, and we see this every day, whether in the form of personally driving to hand deliver an urgently needed check to our vendors rather than placing it in the post, knowing that it could take days to be delivered via the regular mail, or just in the way you willingly jump in to support our team in whatever way you can. Thank you for demonstrating such a remarkable level of performance and commitment to the Cayman Islands government. And I'd just like to add that yesterday was Kimberly's birthday, so if she's chosen as the top employee tonight, that will be an excellent birthday gift. Congratulations to her.
Thank you very much, Ms. Gordon, for sharing her comments there. And Ms. Kimberly Herrera, our April 2017 nominee. Next, we have our nominee for May 2017, Ms. Lauren Knight. She was nominated for being most energetic, an internal audit manager in the Internal Audit Service. And from the portfolio of the Civil Service, we're going to ask our Director for Internal Audit Services, Mr. Andy Bonner, to come forward. And Andy will be sharing some more information with us. in regards to Miss Knight once we have seen her video clip. At this time, the video clip for a nominee for May 2017, Miss Lauren Knight.
The internal audit function makes the lives of the people we serve better because internal audit was essentially created to assist with improving the efficiency and effectiveness of the organization by identifying gaps and internal control weaknesses and making recommendations to address the same. What does that mean in English? Essentially, it means internal audit drives and motivates organizations to be the best that they can possibly be. As the saying goes, good enough isn't good enough if it can be better, and better isn't good enough if it can be best. As a result of our work, we drive the government to be the best that it can absolutely be, and by extension, that means that Cayman's public is only receiving the best. Two projects that I can think of right off the bat that enhanced our organization and made lives in the Cayman Islands as a whole better would be the recommendations that we made for improvement to the travel policy, which saved the government a substantial amount of money, and additionally the contributions that we made to the anti-fraud policy, which was rolled out last year. My management style is predominantly democratic. I am very inclusive. I understand the importance of involving my team in the decision-making process where possible. And I also understand that an included workforce is a highly motivated and engaged workforce, hence my democratic leadership style. The internal audit function actually plays an integral role in corporate governance. In fact, some of the work that we do directly informs governance decisions. By conducting governance audits, we're able to identify areas for improvement, and where those improvements are made, we are essentially ensuring that the government leads and directs using world-class rules, practices, and procedures.
All right, there you have Miss Lauren Knight. And now we're going to ask Mr. Andy Bonner to share some more information with us on behalf of Miss Knight.
Good evening, everybody. And let me tell you why you don't have to be nervous about an energetic auditor. When I called Miss Lauren most energetic, many people instantly thought of her iconic photo capturing the moment when she leapt from the top steps of the Government Administration Building, or perhaps her recent appearance at the Legislative Assembly. That's a small part of it, but there's so much more. Being energetic means having the strength and vitality required for sustained activity. Miss Lauren certainly has that. Looking back for a moment, she joined government from the Caribbean Utilities Company. Deserving of a place with superhero legend, perhaps, is the fact that she used to sit very close to CUC's primary power generator. I have a feeling she somehow absorbed some of that energy. Perhaps that's why CUC describes itself as provider of Cayman's most reliable and efficient energy. Tonight, it is a privilege to be here to honour her achievement as Employee of the Month and as a truly deserving contender for Employee of the Year. She is a star amongst all the stars assembled here tonight. But what makes her unique? Here's a quick example, which also explains why I have referred to her as the whirlwind. Not so long ago, we finished a meeting by concluding we had to get the entire internal audit team across to the wonderful Cayman Brac. I went to our kitchen area to make a cup of tea. I started thinking through all of the logistics that were going to be involved in getting the whole team across to the Brac. It was going to take some effort. I took my tea and my troubles back to my office. Then, before I sat down, in came Miss Lauren. "I've booked the flights," she said, "and the accommodation, and the rental cars. Shall I make a start on the work plans?" I stirred my tea with a smile on my face. Everything was under control, the whirlwind was in town. That may seem a trivial example alongside her many mighty work accomplishments, but it's one I'll never forget, the speed and the efficiency. Have you ever found yourselves running low on energy? Too much to do, too little time? Well, Miss Lauren is the person whose energy will get you over the finish line. I've seen her energise and rally our team time and time again. Her energy spurs us all on to achieve what we never thought was possible. Looking forwards, Miss Lauren wrote what is still one of the most popular blogs on our intranet today, entitled Losing Sight of the Shore. In this blog, she quoted William Faulkner saying, "You cannot swim for new horizons until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore." That's exactly what she is about to do as she prepares to leave Cayman's beautiful shores for a secondment with the United Kingdom's Government Internal Audit Agency. I know she'll return stronger than ever and ready to power our internal audit service further forwards. And I know she won't stop there. There's a lot more to come from Miss Lauren. She is a high achiever, dedicated to her work, her team, and to the whole public service. An inspiration and world-class role model to us all. For all these and so many more reasons, I nominated Miss Lauren as most energetic. She is very special. We are immensely proud of her. Thank you, Miss Lauren, for your service.
All right, thank you very much there, Mr. Andy Bonner, sharing his information in regards to Miss Lauren Knight, her nominee for May 2017. Next, we have our nominee for June 2017, Mr. Mervyn Manson, who is nominated for being most thorough. A senior immigration officer in the Department of Immigration under the Ministry of Human Resource and Immigration. I'm going to ask our Deputy Chief Immigration Officer, Ms. Samantha Bennett, to come forward once more. She will also be sharing some more information with us on behalf of Mr. Manderson. But first, at this time, we have a video clip from Mr. Manderson himself. Enjoy.
I'm attached to the enforcement section. That unit comprises of two different sections. You have the operations aspect, in which those guys handle mostly like complaints from the general public. They do the road operations. They also do asylum processes and the concerns with passengers at the airport. The unit I'm attached to is the compliance section. So what we do is we handle investigations for all the boards, in which there are three: the Work Permit Board, the Business Staffing Plan Board, and the Cayman Status and Permanent Residency Board. We also do investigations for the Work Permit Administrators, who also help out with work permit applications. They fall under the Chief Immigration Officer. Our unit, the main focus, like I said, is investigation. So we do things like investigate offenses of making false representations, failing to disclose Caymanians on work permit applications, persons working outside of the terms of their work permits, persons in possession of false or irregular documents. Those type of offenses mostly consistent with applications that are being submitted to the department. So I would say, in a brief summary, that's pretty much what the unit does. What makes me set the standard that I do, which is to strive for excellence every day that I wear the uniform, is I've come to a conclusion that there's only one person responsible for the legacy that you leave behind, and it is you yourself. You have to earn the respect of the public, which is what I think my hard work and dedication has done. Respect is one of the few things that man hasn't figured out how to put in a bottle and sell on the internet just yet. Right? It is something that still has to be earned. That is through consistent effort and through giving it first to others. So you must give it in order to get it. I simply want to be remembered as an officer who contributed to the positive achievements of the Immigration Department when my career is all said and done.
All right, there you have it from Mervyn Manderson, our nominee for June 2017. And now we have Miss Samantha Bennett to tell us a little bit more about Mr. Manderson.
It's me again. I'm honored to introduce Mr. Mervyn Manderson as the employee for the month of June 2017 for being most thorough. He joined the department in September 2007 as an immigration officer, was promoted to the senior immigration officer post in August of 2013, and a year later he transitioned into the role of a senior immigration officer within the compliance section. Mr. Manderson is a remarkable investigator, and we value his thoroughness, which is needed for the department to run efficiently. He has good leadership skills, a phenomenal work ethic, pays close attention to detail, meets deadlines, and is a keen team player. He consistently demonstrates what is meant to work above and beyond the execution of his duties. This is evident as he successfully resolved many cases, and his sharp investigative ability has allowed him to avoid unnecessary litigation for the department. Mr. Manderson is referred to as a stellar performer who has earned the reputation of an excellent investigator and is a role model for the entire civil service. As a result of his diligence and professional ability, he has become an exceptional officer who overcomes the many challenges that face enforcement officers on a daily basis. It should be noted that he also understands the importance of treating everyone fairly, even if that person transgresses the immigration laws. Mervyn, thank you for your professionalism, your commitment, for returning all my calls, and thank you for your service.
All right, thank you very much there, Miss Samantha Bennett. She was sharing there on behalf of Mr. Mervyn Manderson. But I'm going to ask her if she could just remain here on stage because she'll also be sharing some information on her next nominee for July 2017, Mr. Ezron Anderson, who was nominated for being most willing to lead the change. Another senior immigration officer in the Department of Immigration. And again, Ms. Bennett will be doing honors to share some more information in regards to Mr. Anderson once we've heard his video clip at this time.
You always got to visualize the result first, because if you know what you're aiming for, then nothing really deter you from getting to that point. One of the trainings that I have developed since I've been doing my role is, and most proud of actually, is the airline training for Cayman Airways. That was both with Jamaica and Miami thus far. We're hoping to extend to Honduras and Cuba thereafter. The process was to train the agents on how best to deal with immigration matters with passengers who are willing to travel on those airlines. The do for a year plan for the civil service is almost in line with the exact plan that the immigration have for their 5-year strategic plan. And one of the things that we want to do is enhance our customers' experience. You know, finding the balance between law enforcement and customer service has always been a task. But being professionals, we have to be able to deal with both the willing and loving passengers as well as the undesirable passengers. And we have to do that by still making them maintain their integrity and not feeling that they're belittled. I'm talking about the ones that are undesirable. And once we can find that balance, then I think we have accomplished our goals. And daily, we have to be constantly reminding through briefings, you know, do your best to the officers. You know, we are also ambassadors, not only officers to the Cayman Islands. And with bearing that in mind, then, you know, that should gauge you in your activities. You know, remind them to consider how they would want to be treated. That way, they would also relate that to the customers that they're dealing with. And training, you know, training on customer service, training on how to deal with irate passengers, training on how best to utilize modern technologies now in terms of law enforcement at border controls and so forth. So it's going to be an ongoing process and one that I look forward to tackling. Being recognized for most willing to lead teams was an honorable milestone for me. Good to be noticed for the work that you do, and it was also a team effort.
All right, there you heard it from Mr. Edron Anderson, our nominee for July 2017. And here to tell us a little bit more about Mr. Anderson is the Deputy Chief Immigration Officer, Ms. Samantha Bennett.
Thank you. I'm pleased to introduce Mr. Ezra Anderson, Employee of the Month for July 2017, for being most willing to lead the change. He joined the department as an immigration officer in November 2006 and was promoted to his current role of Senior Immigration Officer in March 2010. He has acted as Assistant Chief Immigration Officer for Border Control and Intelligence on a number of occasions. Mr. Anderson has demonstrated excellent leadership in his current role, and during one of his acting stints, he conducted training for Cayman Airways staff in Jamaica on various immigration matters, which led to the reduction of fines for the national carrier originating from that country. He consistently advocates and leads the efforts to bring the Department of Immigration in line with the international best standards. Mr. Anderson has earned the respect of his peers, who describe him as a star, and often comments that he is one of the key leaders in the department. His commitment to teamwork and innovation is commendable, which is critical given the major challenges faced by the renovation at the airport and the threat to our security. It is noted that whenever Mr. Anderson raises a concern, he also recommends well thought out and researched solutions to those concerns. If there's anybody that knows the law, immigration law, it's Mr. Anderson, okay? He is the personification of continuous improvement. His drive to find more efficient and effective ways to improve processes, systems, and customer service delivery is commendable and inspirational. He's dedicated, he's committed, and Ezra, we thank you for your service.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bennett. Once more, they are now sharing on behalf of our July 2017 nominee, Mr. Ezra Anderson. Moving on to August 2017, we have our nominee being Ms. Karen Rivers. She was nominated for being Most Driven, a Budget and Planning Manager from the Budget and Management Unit and Treasury Department. We're going to call now from the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development, our Accountant General, Mr. Matthew Tibbetts. He could make his way to the stage at this time, and Matthew will be sharing some more about Karen Rivers once we've heard her clip. At this time now, the video clip for Ms. Karen Rivers, our nominee for August 2017.
I'm Karen Rivers and I'm the Budget Planning Manager. I am very proud to be the recipient of the Deputy Governor's Award, and I know it goes beyond just motivation of staff. It speaks to a larger audience about the faces behind the bureaucracy. You know, it highlights the everyday civil servant that comes to work, perform their duties willingly, and deliver services to the people, and I'm very proud to be a recipient of this award. As the Budget Planning and Preparation Manager, I coordinate the government national budget. And in a nutshell, I'll try to explain what the government budget is to you. The government budget, the Cayman Islands government budget, is what we term an output-based budget, or a performance-based, as some may know it, where we take the input resources, most people know it as revenue and expenses, and link it to outcomes and outputs and outcomes. And so that's the core of what our budget is all about. And the documents that we prepare accumulates into these 4 documents here. As you can see, I'm not a paper person trying to go paperless, but that's where we are at the moment. That's what's delivered to the Legislative Assembly, and that's what's debated, become approved, along with the appropriation bill. When that becomes law, that gives the Cabinet then the power to incur the executive expenses that we know, deliver the programs, deliver capital programs as set out in the law. And that's basically the budget in a nutshell. We've known that there's a vision, and I'm very proud that be part of helping to support that vision of a world-class civil service. One of the things we've gotten is that the world-class civil service the core of it is customer-centric approach, centricity. And with that customer centricity approach, it's all about how effective the civil service run and how fast we can deliver service. And I think part of it is breaking down silos in government, integrating service delivery models so that we can deliver to the people not only the time, not only at the speed, but how efficient, what experience they have. And most importantly, the cost of doing it.
All right, there you had Miss Karen Rivers, our nominee for August 2017. And now to tell us a little bit more about Miss Rivers, we have our Accountant General, Mr. Matthew Tibbetts.
Thank you very much. There's not much I can add to her speech talking about customer service. Karen really focused on amazing customer service. She just puts herself on the line, does whatever it takes to get the job done. Karen is the type of co-worker that everyone wants to have, but only few are blessed with. Despite numerous challenges and reduced resources, Karen always holds strong and delivers in accordance with numerous statutory requirements. While Karen advised that additional resources are often necessary or would be beneficial to us, she's always delivered the quality results despite at times not having any assistance. Karen always knows what needs to be done and makes it happen. With no excuses or complaints, Karen is extremely professional and never backs down from a challenge. The quality of her work speaks to her unwavering commitment and passion for this role. On numerous occasions, Karen has actually stayed over the weekends and throughout the night to achieve the necessary results. On a few occasions, Karen has worked straight through the night and continued to work the next day with a smile and no complaints. Karen goes far beyond the call of duty and is a true testament to her character and the person that she is. One that possesses an unwavering commitment to the cause and one that is driven and motivated to produce high quality results without seeking praise for herself. Karen doesn't believe in excuses. She sets her goals and she achieves them with a positive attitude no matter the obstacles. I can't say enough about what an amazing employee Karen is and what an amazing member of our team she is. I truly hope she is a successful recipient this year. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much there, Mr. Matthew Tibbetts, our Accountant General, sharing on behalf of our August 2017 nominee, Ms. Karen Rivers, who was nominated for being most driven. On to September 2017, we have our nominee being Miss Gina Whitaker, who was nominated there for being most appreciated, our photo ID technician in our elections office. And here to tell us a little bit more about her at this time is the Supervisor of Elections, Mr. Wesley Howell, who will do that once you've seen our video clip for Miss Gina Whitaker, our nominee for September 2017.
Whitaker, and I am the receptionist, IT technician at the elections office, and I am currently the acting higher executive officer as well. I believe the difference between good customer service and excellent customer service is providing customers with a friendly, helpful attitude in a timely and professional manner. However, I believe excellent customer service is going above and beyond the customer's expectations. From experience, people do remember how you make them feel. Therefore, providing excellent service will definitely leave a positive impact on them. It was an amazing feeling to be awarded and nominated for work that I truly enjoy doing and that I'm passionate about. I definitely didn't see it coming, therefore it surely took me by surprise the day of being recognized. I have received so much love and support from everyone, which I am humbled and grateful for. And I would like to thank my supervisors and my deputies for nominating me. My aim is to always ensure that customers walk away with a sense of accomplishment, knowing that they've completed what they've aimed to do in a timely manner. I must add, this is the reason the elections office is always highly commended for the excellent customer service we provide.
All All right, thank you there, Miss Gina Whitaker, nominee for September 2017. And now to tell us a little bit more about her, our supervisor for elections, Mr. Wesley Howell.
Thank you again. So I feel a little bit what the DG feels because I have a whole lot of superstars in the race tonight, and I wish they all could be awarded. So I spent some time with my chief officer hat on and my supervisor of elections hat on, and it was my first rodeo. Gina was there as the backbone for the office, so that title of ID technician means nothing to her. She does whatever it takes to get it done. That comment the DG made about worth their weight in gold was attributed to Gina. So we have a very vocal critic on government service and government issues, and he doesn't shy away from taking us to task. So I got an email from him one day and I was scratching my head thinking, I don't really want to deal with this today. So I popped the email open and there was a thank you for wonderful customer service. Gina managed to switch one of our critics into one of our praise givers and had the gentleman saying, this young lady is worth her weight in gold. So it is what she does. We have some elected members in the House tonight, so I mean no malice, but I can say that we have some uniformed services in the government and they're trained to run towards danger. Gina volunteers to work in the elections office. She could be anywhere, in the private sector, in the public sector. She is that good. For her to be able to deal with people when the election brings out the best in them and the worst in them and never lose her cool ever, treats every single person, intoxicated or not, with the same level of customer service. We have seen it all at the elections office, and Gina has managed to deal with it all in a professional manner, leaving everybody saying thank you, even when she wasn't able to deal with their registration because they weren't qualified. So it is something that I think we all should strive towards, is deliver that level of training, level of service and training. She trains other people how to do it as well across the government, because that is what makes us special and that's what it takes to be excellent. So Gina, thank you very much for your service.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Howell, as well, for your comments there about Miss Gina Whitaker, our nominee for September 2017. We're moving along, ladies and gentlemen. We're down to October 2017, where we have our nominee, Miss Leticia Goring, who is nominated for being most helpful and efficient, and Assistant Director for the Department of Labor and Pensions under the Ministry of Human Resources and Immigration. As you see coming forward, we have the Director of Department of Labor and Pensions, Mr. Bernard Ebanks, and he will be sharing some more information in regards to our nominee for October 2017, Ms. Leticia Goring, once we've had her video clip.
As the Assistant Director, I'm solely responsible for providing assistance to the Director as well as other members of the senior management team. I am driven to be as efficient as I possibly can on an everyday basis. It's a personal goal of mine to always put out my best in what I do. My parents, who were also civil servants, for example, my father was the late Rudolph H. Davis II, who served in Lands and Survey Department for 35 years, and my mom served as a postal worker for almost 10 years, and they've always instilled in me to always put out my best, to always make sure that you're committed and dedicated, and whatever the task, make sure you do it to your best ability. I just have a method every morning or even the night before. I write down a list of all the critical tasks that I'm responsible for completing, and I prioritize that based on importance and urgency. So I focus on the tasks I need to get done for that particular day, and once that's completed, I move on to the next task. As the employee of the month for the month of October 2017, I feel truly honored to be recognized for such a prestigious award. I did not expect to be recognized for an award such as this. I was taken aback by the recognition. But being awarded is one thing. I don't do what I do for awards and recognition. I truly believe that as civil servants, every day we have an opportunity to just put out our best and to serve the people of this country. So I find it very humbling to be recognized in this capacity, and I take on this responsibility, whatever it may be, to encourage and inspire others here within the department and across government. And that's how I truly feel about it.
All right, there you had it, ladies and gentlemen. The video clip there from Miss Leticia Goring, our nominee for October 2017. And here to tell us a little bit more about her, we have Mr. Bernard Ebanks, the Director with the Department of Labour and Pensions.
Good night. I am pleased and honored, and the words can't describe the feelings I have towards making this presentation on behalf of Leticia. I sat there earlier and I listened to the energetic auditors and excellent customer service, and to top it off, the mosquitoes are biting. My boss comes up and he says, yes, we have so many stars, and it started to look overwhelming on me. And the eloquent speakers didn't help. So I started to get the nerves, and as I always do, looked over, and I thought, but I have a Leticia. Whereas we only have 90 seconds to describe the people that we're nominating. The reality is, while Leticia has been nominated for being most helpful and efficient, the truth is Leticia has a job description that most of the professions here have that as a full-time job. Leticia does budget preparation, finance, freedom of information, internal customer complaints, fleet management. It would take me 90 seconds just to tell you what she does. So really, Leticia could compete in any of the categories that most employees here have. So it's mind-boggling to even comprehend that someone can even do that job description, much less excel to the point of getting awarded for the DG's Employee of the Month, much less to come to the stage of Employee of the Year. It really is humbling to see her in action. You know, Leticia is one of the employees. Typically, we have the section in your job description that says any other duties, and that's the manager's trump card. With Leticia, that's her trump card against me. Anytime I try to say, no, yeah, boss, it's any other duties, and that's who she is. She's energetic. She really cares about the job. And internal or external, she cares genuinely about people. And I'm cognizant of the amount of time that I have. But to give you an example, on one occasion, I had an urgent task that came up. And of course, I called for Leticia, didn't get her. So what do managers do when they have a key employee that they can't get by phone? You get up and start to go look for her. Lo and behold, I got to the front desk and said, I'm looking for Leticia. I said, boss, Leticia is a lady at the Dr. Phil's chair. What the Dr. Phil's chair is, Leticia and her counseling sessions. And on face value, it's fine, and it's funny when it's us internally, because we all need that opportunity to discuss things. But as I was informed of that, out comes a lady, probably one of the worst days in her life. Of course, unemployment is a daunting task for anyone to face. And she came out and she had her tissue there, and she was coming out of the Dr. Phil chair. And it put things into perspective. And she says, sir, you want some million when you're done. But that is who Leticia is. Leticia finds the time for everybody. whether it's our external customers or internal. Letitia has come up with some brilliant ideas. We have an issue with communication. Okay, let's do a newsletter and we'll send it out to all the employees. Great communication there. Okay, I'm also going to put a suggestions box. Excellent, we adopted that. At the end of the day, busiest mode we have of communicating, getting feedback, is still Letitia. Employees will still go to the Dr. Phil chair and have it cascaded back there. So Letitia, thank you very much. We appreciate everything you do at DLP.
Thank you very much, Ms. for sharing that information on behalf of our nominee for October 2017, Ms. Leticia Goring. Now, November 2017, our nominee being Mr. Omara Whitaker, for being nominated for Most Helpful, Committed, and Professional, a Customer Liaison Officer, General Registry Department, falling under the Ministry of Financial Services and Home Affairs. Here we have our Registrar General Registry, Ms. Cindy Jefferson, and she's going to be sharing some more information on behalf of Omara Whitaker once we've had that video clip as well.
My name is Omara Whitaker, and I am a Customer Liaison Officer for the Cayman Islands Intellectual Property Office, which is a unit of the General Registry. And we are responsible for the registration of intellectual property, such as trademarks, patents, and design rights. As the Customer Liaison Officer for the Intellectual Property Office, I pre-examine trademarks that come in for registration, which means I will make sure that all the information they needed is sent in, and we will upload it to our system. It then goes on to Candice, who will do an examination to make sure that the trademark is fit for registration. I also process all renewals, all changes to trademarks and patents, and do registration of design rights. Well, a typical day in the Intellectual Property Office is based on the amount of work that comes in. All our work comes in by email, and usually every day there are at least 15 filings that come in, and we just make sure that they go to the right folders and process them according to date order, and then everything else will go on to, all the registrations will go on to Candice for examination. Being most committed, helpful is important in the role that I do. I find being in the customer service field, we are here to help the customer as much as possible. Even if it means to go above and beyond, it's rewarding on the feedback that you get from the customer to know that you've helped them, or even pointing them in the right direction for the help that they need. Being a customer ourselves, it's always pleasing to receive good customer service.
All right, there you had Ms. Omara Whitaker, our nominee for November 2017, and now we have our Registrar General and General Registry, Ms. Cindy Jefferson, to tell us a little bit more about Ms. Whitaker.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Omara Whitaker, our nominee for November 2017. She's also been identified as being the most helpful, committed, and professional. During my preparation for this introduction, I decided that the best way for me to introduce this awardee would be for me to use her words. And so I quote, "Being in the customer service field, I find that doing your best and even going above and beyond for customers is rewarding, especially when I receive feedback from my customers regarding the service I provide. Good customer service is not enough when serving people. You have to provide excellent customer service, even when customers seem difficult. We don't know what they are going through, and having a customer service person just doing the bare minimum to help is not acceptable to me. As a customer myself, it does not sit well with me when I get mediocre service. If you don't enjoy helping people, then customer service is not the field you should be in. While customer service is just a job to many, it is so much more to me. I will continue to provide the best customer service possible, not only because it is my job, but because it gives me a sense of pride to do my best. I believe my customers should always feel that I am someone they can rely on to help them or point them in the right direction for the help they need, end quote. These words sum up the philosophy of Miss O'Mara Whitaker. They are very profound words, but most importantly for her, they are not just words. She actually lives them in performing her duties on a daily basis as a civil servant in the General Registry Department. O'Mara practices what she preaches and is guided by those important attributes in her daily interactions with her colleagues, and more importantly, with the public who use her services on a daily basis. O'Mara is kind, generous, courteous, reliable, and of course, a true professional. We at the registry are all very proud of Miss O'Mara, and she enjoys our unconditional support and best wishes. Thank you, Ms. O'Mara, for your excellent service.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Jefferson. They're sharing some information on behalf of our nominee for November 2017, Mrs. O'Mara Whitaker. Our final nominee this evening, ladies and gentlemen, that being the nominee for December 2017, is Ms. Shelda Seymour, being nominated as being most devoted, and accounts officer 2 under the Needs Assessment Unit. And now we will be calling on the Needs Assessment Unit Deputy Director, Mr. Matthew Hilton, to make his way forward once again, and he'll be sharing some more about Shelda Seymour once we've had the video clip, at this time for our nominee for December 2017.
I became a foster parent 15 years ago when 2 little girls came into the department that needed care and protection, and my heart went out to them. I got the Deputy Governor's Award by ensuring that the payment goes out on time, whether that is coming to the work on Saturdays, Sundays, or whatever. I've ever given up time out of my family life to be here all over the night in order to ensure that these payments get out on time, so that people's lights and waters that don't get cut off, and making sure that all of the preschools are paid and everything is done. This is important to the department and to the people of the Cayman Islands, because if we don't get their lights paid, then they get cut off, and we have older people that are sick and stuff in the homes and stuff. So we make sure that all of this is done on a timely basis, that nobody gets cut off and nobody lose their water, or even the precious little children be put out of the preschools because the payment is not paid. What I like most about my job is helping to serve the public and meeting their needs on a day-to-day basis, where I can see them happy of the outcome. I go home feeling that I was able to help somebody. Put a smile on somebody's face for that day, and not. A lot of people, when they come to the Needs Assessment Unit, is already down and low and stuff, and having meet their needs and serving them to the best of my ability, and not make them feel that they have lost their dignity in coming to the Needs Assessment Unit. That gives me that sense of pride. That's what I like most about my job.
All right, thank you there for Mrs. Shelda Seymour, our nominee for December 2017. And here to tell us a little bit more about her is our Deputy Director from the Needs Assessment Unit, Mr. Matthew Hilton.
I have the strangest and most vivid sensation of deja vu. It's almost as if I've been up here before. I just want to set the record straight on something, that In my previous introduction, my voice did not shake from nerves, it was trembling with excitement. Happy for the two officers. Ms. Shelda has been a civil servant for over 25 years. But what befuddles me is how someone could have worked more years than their actual age. When someone speaks of the NEU, they usually think of assessment officers or supervisors. However, the team extends to much more than that. Our admin team and accounting staff are invaluable assets to the organization. Without people like Shelda working tirelessly in the background, we would fall apart at the seams. I'm very proud to stand here today to introduce Shelda. I am humbled at the same time because I realize that nothing I can say will truly do justice to nor adequately represent the work that she invests in her job. She sacrifices countless hours to ensure that our clients, the people of the Cayman Islands, have access to their basic life needs. If anyone knows Shelda, they understand what I mean when I say she is a fighter. And she is not afraid of anything or anyone. Unfortunately, this also includes management. As a result of this fearlessness, you can depend on Ms. Shelda to let you know when something is right or wrong. And you can always depend on her to help you turn the wrongs into rights. She holds us accountable to ensure that our operations are ethical, just, and fair. I can go on for quite a while speaking about the great qualities that Shelda has as a government employee, but let me share with you some things that her co-workers have pointed out. She makes you feel comfortable even though you do not work directly with her. She is no nonsense when it comes to work and life. She is a protective security guard. Now here is one that Shelda didn't know that I knew. And I won't give you the details about it. You can please approach her afterwards and she'll explain the story to you. She's also known as the elevator bull. She maintains order. She's approachable despite her stern appearance. She laughs hysterically despite her stern appearance. And do not trip in front of Shelda. She is very selfless. She sacrifices her own needs to provide for someone else's wants. These are the qualities that have made her an invaluable team member and irreplaceable employee and civil servant. But if you paid close attention, you would notice that many of these qualities also describe a parent. One of my favorite qualities about Shelda is how she has selflessly given of herself, not only professionally, but also at home. She has opened her doors to many children, providing them with safe refuge whenever this is needed. She has been a foster parent with the Department of Children and Family Services for well over 15 years. Throughout this time, she has provided a safe home for clients of the department, but also to children from church and the general community. She has been described as extremely patient and loving, always putting her children first in all that she does. Shelda has been a joy to work with and is a shining example of what a civil service should be. Her professional and personal life is a true statement to her devotion. This is why she was selected as most devoted. Thank you, Shelda.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Hilton, for sharing that information now on behalf of our nominee for 2017, Ms. Shelda Seymour. Ladies and gentlemen, that completes our nominees here this evening. 18 of them for the year, an extended year, I guess it was July 2016 through December 2017. Let's hear it once more, ladies and gentlemen, for all of our nominees. 18 of them. I know it was quite lengthy, like I said, an extended year there, 18 months, but we definitely had to do justice to each and every one of our nominees as they have already delivered. Most committed and definitely deserving of this evening's event, as we're here now to determine or identify a winner here in just a few moments. Having said that, I'm going to at this time invite our acting governor, if he would please come forward to make a presentation tonight to each of our finalists. who are here present with us. Just want to say, as the acting governor is coming forward right there to actually do the presentations right down front by the red carpet. I know that there's like 3, I think it is, of the nominees that are not present with us this evening. But as I'm still going to call the names of those individuals still this evening as we move throughout the list. But you're here present with us. Once you come forward and receive an award this evening from the Honorable Acting Governor here, we're going to ask if you'd please remain up front, and you'll be assisted here by one of the ladies, Ms. Tara Bush, Ms. Christine Wright, or the police officers as well, to show you where to remain standing until we have the announcement of our winner in just a few moments. Having said that, we are starting from July 2016. Although she's not present, we still want to recognize and mention the name there again, Miss Cheyenne Palmer, our nominee for July 2016, for being most helpful. Not present, but please do give her a hand of applause this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Likewise, for August 2016, Ms. Sarah Dixon, not present with us, but again, please do acknowledge her as our nominee for August 2016. We do have in our presence this evening our September 2016 nominee, Ms. Aubrey Bodden, who was nominated for being most professional. Next, we have our October 2016 nominee, Mr. Ernie Pearson, nominated for being most vested. November 2016 nominee, Mr. Ephraim Holgate. Mr. Holgate was nominated for being most constructive. Our December 2016 nominee, Ms. Donna Ebanks. Ms. Ebanks being nominated there for being most helpful and festive. Now we have our January 2017 nominee, Ms. Leonora Venter Young. Ms. Venter Young, nominated for being most committed. Our February 2017 nominee, who unfortunately isn't here present with us this evening, but still want to recognize Ms. Tamara Reed Vernon. Ms. Reed Vernon was nominated for being most committed. Our March 2017 nominee, Ms. Tristica Ebanks. Ms. Tristica Ebanks nominated for most customer conscious. And now we have our April 2017 nominee, Ms. Kimberly Herrera. Ms. Kimberly Herrera nominated for most customer centric. Moving on to May 2017, we have our nominee being Miss Lauren Knight. And Miss Knight being nominated for being most energetic. All right, June 2017 nominee, Mr. Mervyn Manderson. Mr. Manderson nominated to being most thorough. Now we have our July 2017 nominee, that being none other than Mr. Ezran Anderson. Mr. Anderson being most willing to lead the change. Our August 2017 nominee is Karen Rivers. Karen was nominated for being most driven. Next, we have our September 2017 nominee, Miss Gina Whitaker. And Miss Whitaker was nominated also for being most appreciated. We're down now to October 2017, and we have our nominee of Miss Leticia Goring. Ms. Goring being most helpful and efficient. We have two more nominees. First one of those being our November 2017 nominee, the likes of Miss Omara Whitaker. And our final nominee this evening will be our December 2017, Miss Shelda Seymour. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. 18 nominees here this evening, who is all vying for that award. The Employee of the Year for 2016-2017. Now we have them all up front. At this time, we're going to invite the Acting Deputy Governor to come forward. And at this time, when our Acting Deputy Governor, Ms. Gloria McField-Nixon, comes forward, she'll be doing the honors and actually making the announcement this evening of the Employee of the Year for 2016-2017. All right, let's hear it from Ms. Gloria McField-Nixon once more, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Wow, good evening, everyone. What a tremendous night to have these 18 honorees who are all vying to be the Employee of the Year, or as I like to say it, our civil servant extraordinaire. This is truly a remarkable year for us as we're launching our 5-year strategic plan. And in true form, as we're aiming to be world class, we've managed to fit 18 Employees of the Month into a year celebration program. And the good news about that math is that, you know, I'm in HR, so we like to set performance targets, stretch goals for the people that we lead and the people, apparently, that we report to. So I was able to tell the Deputy Governor, sir, I know each year when you make this selection, it's very hard. But as we have 18 nominees this year, we've made it 50% harder than it was last year. So good luck with that. And as he said, this has been a very, very difficult process for him, coming up with the winner for the Employee of the Year. You've heard from these outstanding individuals in their own voice, the very many ways that they make a difference. I mean, many of us take work home, but how many of us can say that we see children in need and step up as a foster parent? So many of us try our best when doing our jobs not to, draw criticism from the press or those we serve, but how many of us can say that we've experienced the civil service most harsh critics, and we didn't just silence them, we turned them into a voice of praise. These are the attributes of these tremendous individuals who stand before us. How many of us ever put the words energetic and auditor in the same sentence and we're not trembling when we did so, completely changing the way that we look at our audit profession and reinforcing the fact that we're there to add value and to make sure that these departments can be more impactful and make a difference in the lives of those we serve. How many of us, when we think about customer service and being really good at it, think about the customer that is in our control, in our custody, behind bars, and we're still thinking about ways that we can add value and make a difference in their lives. These people think outside the box. They go above and beyond the call of duty each and every day. Extraordinary individuals, extraordinary human beings, extraordinary civil servants. So now, we talk about how does the Deputy Governor make such a difficult decision, 50% harder this year than it was last year. Well, the process calls upon him looking at the nomination forms that came forward from those departments to begin with. So what did their managers have to say? And as you can see, these passionate, fired up, amazing civil servants have some passionate, fired up, amazing leaders. And I'd just like to give a round of applause for the men and women who took the stage today to talk about these great individuals. Great job. So we look at their words and how they've described these individuals. And then we look at the scores and the feedback that came from chief officers who gather and each month decide which person will be the employee of the month. And then when that award is made, the Deputy Governor looks very closely at how this individual commands themselves and how it is that they deal with the praise that's been given to them at that stage. And I can tell you, as you've seen, the humility of the individuals. One individual going so far when they were given the Employee of the Month award to say, an award for what? This is just what I do. The humility, the commitment, the passion, the integrity, just living our values. And the place that he looks last but not least is he looks at their annual performance appraisals, and he looks at whether the things that got them nominated, was that just a moment of brilliance, or was that a commitment to wake up each and every day determined to make a difference in the lives of those we serve. And I can tell you, as someone who's again in HR, there's a lot of discussion about our 5 points of our performance appraisal, right? Who gets these 5s? Who gets these 4s, right? Everyone thinks the highest I could ever get to is a 3. As I was flipping through the binder that the Deputy Governor talks about, there they were. These coveted 4s and 5s, here they are standing in front of you. These amazing individuals who not only manage to make a difference, but who do so consistently and conduct, as we have heard, what can sometimes be very broad job description. I might have to talk to that manager about that. This person's job description just covers everything, right? Absolutely everything, right up to the Dr. Phil's chair. That's the commitment. That's the way that these individuals go above and beyond the call of duty. So when you look at that and see that this is not just a moment of time, but this is a commitment to sustained making a difference, you realize just how difficult his job was. But he takes that all into consideration, and then he has to come up with his answer. So, being a person who believes that a challenge deserves a challenge, he met my challenge, and then he told us very late this week that he'd arrived at his decision, and he had a challenge that was back for our team. So we thought, this isn't the time to be making challenges, sir. But when we realized what had happened and just the caliber of the individuals we were working with, we fully understood the challenge he faced. So, truly remarkable year, 18 individuals, amazing human beings. So what does that mean? Well, I'm happy to say that this year we have a tie, and there's not one, but 2 Employees of the Year. A statistical dead heat of these amazing individuals. So who are these 2 individuals? Well, what I can tell you is that they have a few things in common. Professional, passionate, results-driven. That didn't narrow it down any, did it? They appreciate the value of employee engagement. These individuals are both leaders, though one has a formal designation and the other does not. What I can also tell you is that both have totally grasped and fully deployed the power of communication within their workplace, making a positive difference. I know it's been a long night. I understand that there's a drum roll. So there's a drum roll standing between you and this decision. So drum roll. Wow, that was nice. I'm so pleased to announce that the 2 Employees of the Year for 2016-17, and this is really important because up until this point, we've had 2 women and 2 men. So this is the gender decider. Who's going away with this? 2 nominees, and the ladies have it. Very happy to announce Ms. Tristika Ebanks, Ministry of Human Resources and Immigration, and Ms. Aubrey Barton in the Cabinet Office, our 2016-17 Employees of the Year.
All right, just here and there again, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it another big hand of applause. Our 2 Employees of the Year for 2016-2017, Ms. Tristika Ebanks and Ms. Aubrey Bodden. I think the photographers is still taking a photo. Otherwise, I'm going to be calling on our 2 winners here this evening, if they would come on up on stage, because in just a few moments we're going to be asking them to share some acceptance remarks with us. But again, we just want to say not only congratulations to these 2 ladies, but again for all of our nominees here this evening. They're all winners. We give them all another big hand of applause, ladies and gentlemen. We're so proud of each and every one of them. They're really true examples of the Cayman Islands civil service. All right, thank you. At this time, everyone else could take your seat, but we're going to ask Ms. Tristika Ebanks and Ms. Aubrey Barton if you all would make your way up to the stage, and we're going to ask them to just share some very brief acceptance remarks with us. Ms. Aubrey, are you coming forward? All right, ladies and gentlemen, here for Ms. Aubrey Bodden. She's going to be sharing her brief acceptance remarks with us. Congratulations again, Ms. Aubrey.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to first thank my husband for convincing me this morning I should probably think about this. Otherwise, I would be here all night. So last week, I learned a new acronym. And as a civil servant, of course, I love acronyms. And I think this one is particularly relevant tonight as I stood next to some really phenomenal people who are all so deserving of the recognition tonight. But that acronym is BHAD, Big, Hairy, Audacious Goal. And I've had a few of those in my time with the Cayman Islands government. Mr. Robert Lewis nominated me for this award in September of 2016, characterizing me as most professional. And I've been reflecting a lot on what professionalism means lately. I used to have a very narrow view of the term, but as a core value for our civil service, we've defined it in a really powerful way. We've said that professionalism means we strive to be the best. I probably will not be described as someone who shows up and waits to be told what to do, or who thinks that my job description is the only thing that I can accomplish. And the main reason that I'm standing here right now is because I've had the privilege of working with people who have encouraged that. And I'd really like to thank my previous managers, Robert Lewis and Tammy Ebanks, who many times saw my eyes light up with that new BHAD and supported me to achieve it. Just over a year ago, I was appointed Chief Internal Communication Officer, and at the time, we were approaching a hugely important crossroads with the launch of our 5-year strategic plan for a world-class civil service imminent. In this new role, the long-suffering Cabinet Secretary, Samuel Rose, has been stoking that fire, for which I'm most grateful. Never have I darkened his door and not seen a smile on his face when he realizes that a BHAD is coming. I also can't forget the Deputy Governor, Chief Officer Gloria McField-Nixon, and the rest of the team, not only in the portfolio of the civil service, but across the rest of the civil service, who are such amazing champions and partners on this new journey with the strategic plan. I've been really fortunate in this new role to collaborate with many of you, and we're not done yet. The opportunity we have to work together to be the best, and then make our best business as usual, is an awesome one. It's a once-in-a-generation opportunity. And therefore, my commitment to each of you is that I'll strive not only to be the best that I can be myself, but to support all of our leaders and business teams to be the best that they can be as well.
All right, congratulations and thank you again there, Ms. Aubrey Bodden. And now let's hear it now for Ms. Tristica Ebanks.
Okay. Protocol already established. I want to first say that if you feel anything trembling, I assure you it is not an earthquake, but it's my knees knocking and my heart pounding. I am truly humbled by this prestigious honor of being named the Deputy Governor's Choice for Employee of the Year. You see, my journey as a civil servant started by chance. I was given the opportunity to work at the Lands and Survey Department as an intern on work experience, and after graduation, fortunate enough to be offered full-time employment. After a few years, I decided to try the private sector. It didn't work. Fast forward a few years later, and I can confidently say I am home. Over the years, I have had the honor and privilege of working with individuals who have inspired, encouraged, and supported me. These aren't just ordinary people. They have become family. Each person who has come into my life by faith, family, or choice has influenced my morals, beliefs, character, and attitude. It would be unfair for me to take full credit of being the person I am without lessons taught and learned, opinions and advice which matter, and most of all, guidance in helping mold me into the person I am today and strive to be better tomorrow. You see, I'm also a full-time mom and civil servant and part-time student. As you can imagine, this isn't an easy balance, if you ever find one. But my support system is awesome. And if or when I may get off my path, I am quickly reminded of what is important. The Deputy Governor has recently announced a strategic plan in making the civil service a world-class service. But you see, ladies and gentlemen, we are world-class. We often don't take time and recognize the accomplishments and great people who make the civil service. In this room alone, there are individuals who are committed, passionate, and have love for country. We strive every day in doing our best and making the civil service and the Cayman Islands better. I'm sure at this point you will agree with me that we already have a world-class service. We're just making it better. I stand before you committed in achieving this goal and influencing anyone along the way. This will be done at my very best while remaining fair, humble, and thankful. And I ask each of you to do the same and be the change you want to see in the world. The civil service is a great place to work, and I choose to be a public servant who wants to make a difference in any and every aspect possible. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. It doesn't matter what you do or where you are, taking the first step and watching it have a ripple effect guarantees positive results. And if it doesn't work the first time, please don't give up. Take a page out of Dory's story and just keep swimming, because you will find home. To the other honorees, we are all amazing individuals who have a common goal, and that is in achieving excellence and believing in what we do. I encourage you to take at least one person's attitude or perception towards the civil service. Encourage a drive which will be unstoppable and positive, and you will see the results and be proud of lending your voice or making a mark in creating, maintaining, and achieving a universal world-class civil service. Thank you to the Honorable Deputy Governor for awarding me with this honor. My family and friends, for your continued love and support, and always encouraging me to make my mark. To my ministry family, the rowdy ones, who always and accept me for being me, giving me opportunities for growth, and my rock on good days and bad days. And if anyone knows us, we are truly the meaning of family. And even on our bad days, we are there for each other. And this is truly a bond that is unbreakable. To my daughter, who will one day read and or watch this, I promise to always make you proud and know that you are my motivation and inspiration. Always remain humble, kind, passionate, and fair, because you are the change I want to see in this world. Thank you and good evening.
All right, congratulations there once again to Ms. Tristica Ebanks and Ms. Aubrey Borden, and not only those, but the other 16 nominees as well. Great, great, great congratulations to each and every one of you. We also just want to recognize once more as well our 4 previous winners, Mr. Nicholas McLean, Ms. Venice Tatum, Ms. Gidget Powell, and also Mr. Philbert McFarlane. Again, thank you all as well for your continued service and commitment to these lovely Cayman Islands and to the civil service of these lovely islands that we so proudly call home. Again, congratulations to each and every one of you here this evening, our finalists, and to the winners. I say your tenure begins as we are launching the 5-year strategic plan for a world-class civil service. Just want to take the opportunity as well here this evening to thank our very own Deputy Governor, the Acting Governor at this particular time for his vision, his passion towards being simply that, the best that we can possibly be as far as the civil service. And we definitely owe him this evening a round of applause as well, ladies and gentlemen. Only wanting the best for us, for this country. And having said that, I just want to encourage each and every one of you here this evening, as not only civil servants, but private citizens as well that are here. This is something that can only be achieved with all hands on deck. Everyone has to contribute if we're really going to succeed in having that true world-class civil service. So again, I appeal to each and every one of you to give him every bit of your support. And there are many others out there as well as far as civil servants. Please assist us carrying the word forward and convincing each and every one to do their part. Make it a habit each and every day to always strive to do the best you can possibly be in order to deliver that world-class civil service, that quality service to each and every one. In fact, I'm reminded by the famous quote from Aristotle, who once said, "Quality is not an act, it is a habit." And we really got to have that habit every day to want to deliver at such a standard, a world-class standard, the best that there can possibly be. And again, we owe it to this country, to our Deputy Governor for his vision. And I hope and trust and pray that each and everyone here this evening will commit to that and also help us spread the word, because together we can. And hopefully together we can say we will definitely ensure that we have a world-class civil service. I think one of our nominees spoke this evening as far as talking about being good and wanting to be better and absolutely wanting to be that best. That's all that our Honourable Deputy Governor is striving for, and that's to ensure that we are the best. And we hope and pray that we will all play our part to ensure that becomes a reality. Not only our nominees, but again, we just appeal to all civil servants to just continue to lead by example. And we thank everyone who played a part in making tonight possible. And in particular to Mr. Bothwell for his offering of his prayers, Ms. Shamika Clark for her rendition of the national song, Ms. Kara Coe and Stefan Johnson of Government Information Services for the photos and graphics and design and videography, Ms. Christine Wright and Ms. Tara Bush in the portfolio of the Civil Service for logistics and the event planning, Ms. Janet Dixon of the Land and Survey for printing the posters, showcasing tonight's finalists. Also Mr. Horacio Esteban for the Caymanite Awards for our finalists here this evening, Mr. Marvin Hulston of GTC for engraving tonight's awards, Mize in Place for tonight's refreshments. Again, to all of you, our managers, family and friends, for coming out to support these exceptional individuals. We say a huge big thank you to each and every one of you. You all have been a lovely audience here this evening. It was my honor and privilege to serve this evening as your master of ceremonies. I trust it's been most enlightening and inspiring to each and every one. And again, we say to our nominees and our eventual winners this evening, congratulations once more.